Good afternoon, everybody. How we doing here? Well, I'm going to wait a little bit to get some people here. But first of all, I'm going to answer some of your questions. Okay? You all love the fact that I dress every day. And you ask, how come I do that? Okay? I do that because I feel it's a respectful thing to do. Now, if you knew me back in the old days, folks, okay, every morning I got up, I dressed, okay? I have a suit, sport coat, I had the French cuffs, I had the pinky ring, I had it all then. Hi there, thank you for coming in, Embed. Thank you. So yes, folks, so I used to dress every day. I actually enjoy it, and I shave every single morning. You'll never see me with a beard. Honestly, I can't even grow a beard if I wanted to. That's funny, huh? Hello, Walika Pierce. Thank you for coming. Let's get a few more people here, and I want to talk about Jeffrey Epstein and who really was Jeffrey Epstein. Was he CIA? I think so. Because so many weird things, how he became what he did. Very weird. But do you know that he taught physics and math at the elite Dalton School in Manhattan from 1973 to 1975. And folks, he didn't graduate from college. He didn't have a degree, but yet he was a teacher. How could that possibly happen? Jeffrey Epstein graduated from Lafayette High School in Brooklyn, New York, in 1969 at the age of 16. He attended Cooper Union for advanced math classes and later transferred to New York University Corinth Institute of Mathematical Science, where he studied mathematical physiology. I don't even know what that is. Visiting fellow at Harvard. He was a visiting fellow at Harvard. Admitted as a visiting fellow at Howard University, despite lacking the typical academic qualifications and paid tuition and fees. He was later asked to withdraw in 2006 following his arrest. Hello, Ann. Thank you for coming. I think everybody's either waking up slow or they don't have their notifications on when I come in on. And, I'm going to have to learn how to schedule my live shows. I tried it one time, and then when that time came and I go on, I thought all I had to hit was my show and go on. But no, I couldn't get in. I couldn't get into a room that I started. You see, folks, I do everything by myself. I don't have no staff like everybody else that you see on YouTube. They have a staff, okay? And a lot of people put up, they post pictures and that. I don't know how to do that. And besides, when they post things they ask you to read, it's so small in print. How could you read it? Okay? There's Armchair, and, okay. Now, there's a very interesting, I watch Megan Kelly. She does a great job. And she did a breakdown and I'm doing some research on it. This Epstein was a conniving, manipulative individual. And guess who else is a conniving, manipulative individual? Sean Combs, Punk Diddy, P. Diddy, and whatever else they call him. So they have that in common. But don't think that all this trafficking a woman, now, so far there's no minors involved in the Diddy case, but Epstein was all minors. And you all saw my video I posted about my dear friend John Connolly, who wrote a blurb in my book for me. All right? I'm going to read it. Orlando Ori Spado had been a thorn in the side of the Los Angeles field office of the FBI for almost 2 decades before they finally took him down. Accidentally or not, Ori was a quintessential mob character, complete with a pinky ring and a slow, steady, deliberate voice, whether speaking with friends or foes. But like so many other Goodfellas, he was set up by a friend's son. You will have to read the book to find out who set him up. It's all here in my book, folks. John Connolly, author, New York Times best-selling true crime book, Filthy Rich. Filthy Rich is about Michael Epstein. John Connolly was one of the first people to investigate him. And when John began, I think it was 2002, 2003, something like that, he was down in Florida and he was looking for victims. And you know, guess who found 2 victims for him? I did. Yes, it was me. Through somebody I knew much younger in Florida who went to school with these victims, and that's how I found them. Now, if I was able to find them way back there, okay, why can't people find these victims today? All right? Pam Bondi, who I really was thrilled about becoming our Attorney General, has disappointed me deeply by not providing the information that she absolutely, positively has in her possession and Kash Patel's possession. It's really terrible that they've been promising the American people that information, and now they won't. And you know the reason, folks? The reason is simple. Money, money, money. Because all these people that were involved of underage children going to Epstein's home, going to his island, being on his plane, are very prominent people with a lot of money. Now, if you or I did that, we'd be locked up in jail. But these people, nothing's going to happen to them. And they are not going to stop. Don't think just because Epstein's gone that those rich and powerful people are stopping from seeing underage children. It's still going on. This has been going on with the wealthy for centuries. For centuries. And it's not ending with the wealthy people of our country, of the world. It's not just our country, of the world. You know, yeah, don't worry about me. I'm not going to learn those tech skills. I get some information from my son, who helps me a little bit. He's on a plane coming back home today. He was visiting his brother and sister in upstate New York. All right, so he knows how to do this stuff, and I'm going to have him here for my first live show that I could schedule so that you people know that I'm here, what time I'm coming on, and, we can come in and have a decent sized room, okay? Now, very interesting thing about Epstein. He began as a financial manager. His first and biggest client was a guy named Les Wexner. Now, Les is still alive. He's 87 years old. Les Wexner was a very wealthy individual. He built brands in the retailing world, marketing conglomerate that included Victoria's Secret, Bath and Body Works, Henry Bendel, the White Barn Candle Company, La Cessna, and he also had something to do with, guess what? Abercrombie and Fitch. Yeah. Guess what trial is coming up? I'll be following it. Abercrombie and Fitch. So you see what I mean when I say it's always the wealthy. And they never go to jail. Yeah, they get these pedophiles who go online and looking for young kids and all that, okay? Actually, my dear friend Shane Coyle does a lot of that there. He's able to disguise his voice like a little girl, all right? He's going to be out here very shortly, and he wants me to go out on one of the things with him, all right, which I'm going to be doing. So stand by and stay tuned for that. But that's how, okay. The key client, Les Wexner, Epstein's notable client was Leslie Wexner. All right, I just read that. Other notable clients Epstein also provided service to were wealthy individuals like Leon Brack, a private investor who paid Epstein millions in fees for tax and estate planning services. When I was with the Prudential Insurance Company, I helped people with estate and planning services. I didn't get millions of dollars. Estate and trust management. Epstein gained authority over Wexner's trust and foundation, allowing him to manage millions of dollars in shares and investments. Oh my God. Real estate investment. Epstein owned several valuable properties, including a mansion in Manhattan, an island in the U.S. Virgin Islands, a ranch in New Mexico, and homes in Paris and Florida. Now, remember, Epstein's a guy who hung himself in prison. I'm not going to read the rest of this stuff, okay? I'll do that some later time. You folks aren't interested in that. Bill Barr, former Attorney General of the United States under Trump's first administration. You know who his father was? His father was a big deal. His father was CIA. And he knew about all these sex trafficking of minors happening. That's who ours, Attorney General was. So folks, how do you put people in jail for these crimes when the people who are supposed to put them in prison are involved in it? He has property in Ohio too, Miss Lisa. You know, I told you before, when I was in prison in Lompoc, they originally wanted to make Lompoc a prison. They were changing it to a prison for pedophiles to try to teach them not to be pedophiles. But the BOP changed their mind. So when I got there were a lot of pedophiles. Now, they all had money. Not the kind of money of Jeffrey Epstein, but they had money, okay? And they all get life sentencing. Why? Well, here again, let's go into politics. Let's go into what a lot of our judges are in. Yeah. I even hate talking about this subject because these people despise me so much. And now our government will not tell us the truth. We're entitled to it, folks. We're taxpayers of this United States. Now, I'm going to end this here today with how did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself? I have been in prison, as you know. I did 62 months. I was in MDC, Brooklyn, where Diddy is right now. Miss Lisa, Clubhouse. You know, let me go back. I was there, okay? I was in a cell. I don't know how possibly you could hang yourself in prison. Some say from the top bunk. Well, I stand up, okay? The top bunk's right here. Top bunk. Okay? How do you hang yourself from that? I don't know how. It's impossible. And there's not things on the ceiling for them to tie sheets around to hang themselves. They can't hang themselves from the window. If they do have a window, a lot of them don't. So he obviously did not hang himself. Somebody did it. And who was involved? Former President Bill Clinton. You know, Miss Lisa talked about missing me on Clubhouse. Folks, during the pandemic, some brilliant people invented an audio app called Clubhouse. And it began with you had to have an iPhone and you had an iPhone, and only by invitation. I was invited onto it, went on, and I became an influencer on that app. It was really great. It was a lot of fun during the pandemic, okay? We would have rooms. We had 2,000, 3,000 people in a room, okay? Really great. You know, it was a lot of fun, Miss Lisa. Remember that? And then they opened it up to everybody and all kinds of phones, all right? And then they made changes. Here's these people that built a $1 billion company, and they made changes to it that you can't even figure out how the hell to get on it, where to find the rooms that you used to go in. Obviously, I left. Millions of other people left. It's still up there someplace. They don't do nothing. Okay? And, Judy, you worked every day during the pandemic. Obviously, you don't live in California then. You must be in Florida. Judge Shady Court? Where did you work? Where are you from? What state? Hi, Jane. Oh, you were at the DMV, Judge Shady Court? Okay. Hey, folks, you know, a lot of you in the past have, hit that thanks button. Some of you wrote me and said, how do I do it? Okay, it's very simple for anybody who wants to give that thanks. Okay, just hit that button. And as I get going and as I grow older, I'm at about 8,300 subscribers now to my channel. And as I grow a little bit more, okay, I'm going to do with the American Cancer Society. Any money I get over $50, okay, I will give half to the Cancer Society, and I'm going to do it for the Alzheimer's Society. So I'm going to be talking to those organizations of how I could put so the money goes directly through them and all that there. Okay, so I'm trying to figure that out. All right? All right? Thank you, Judge Shady Court. All right? Okay. I appreciate that there. You're a member. So I'm going to be doing things like that. I'm not taking all the money myself. Okay? I'm a very giving guy. And Judge, welcome to Bronze. Thank you, Judge Shady. You know, be there again. I don't know tech. I don't know what that is. Okay? But I appreciate the judge for doing that there. So, folks, look, I'm going to have lunch, and then I'm going to go out and lay out for about 45 minutes at the pool, do a little swim, all right? Thank you. When you sell your house, she's going to give me $5,000 for the cause. Judge, you are a very, very kind person. All my love and respect to you and your family. Hello? Okay? So everybody, have a good day. As always, be safe. And remember something. I love each and every one of you. And thank you for coming. Okay? All right? Take care, folks. We'll see you tomorrow.